we ended I ended my cross-examination on the cell phone device that was last recorded at Phosphorus 5:04, and on the 27th of October, if not the 29th of October, that cell phone was for the first time after the 26th of October re-registered on the towers of Phosphorus. Is that correct?
This was the next Kuruma. Makalokuki lapha ukusetshenziswa etwetaya se Phosphorus on 1704 bayagcina ukubona iphinde register ngomhla 29 October yebo kunjalo.
The question that I want to pose now is, this cell phone, if it was not in Phosphorus on the day Senzo Meyiwa was killed, and this cell phone is associated with accused number 3, or is registered in the name of accused number 3, who else do you think might have been in possession of that phone without accused number 3?
As a court, please, my lord, do we object to that question? We submit that the witness is being asked to speculate. The speculation will be of no assistance to the court. In any case, that is not something that falls within his knowledge. We submit that it's an unfair question.
Yes, Mr. Mngomezulu.
My lord, I submit with due respect that I asked this question with the full knowledge that this cell phone was registered in the name of accused number 3.
But your question, oh well.
May I rephrase it, madam?
Okay, fine. All right.
May I rephrase it with due respect? Mr. Khos, let me take you back again on your examination in chief. You confirmed that this number belongs to accused number 3, correct?
That's according to my knowledge, yes.
And according to your evidence, this cell phone, you said it communicated with accused number 5, correct?
That's correct, my lord.
And if we are talking about accused number 3, we are talking about Mr. Mngomezulu. Do you agree?
That's correct.
Do you know him here in court? Do you see him here in court?
1, 2, 3. Must be the one in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's correct.
And accused number 5 is the last one on the row. So we talk about the people that we can see, correct?
That's correct.
And with your evidence saying accused number 3 and number 5, when you were taken by the prosecution or by my colleague in respect of the 3 transactions that registered on the 26th of October, you mentioned only 3 transactions on the 26th of October. Can you recall that?
That's correct.
And you are the analyst of this data, correct?
That's correct.
What actually made you? Because I believe when you did this analysis, you went through all the recordings or the transactions in the 205, correct? You started from page 1 up to the last page, correct?
Just one thing. Are we looking at number 27727668169?
That's correct, yes.
I never said only 3 entries. That was for accused 2 that we were talking about yesterday, my lord. That three calls were for accused 2. I never said how many entries were made on the 26th for accused 5.
No, I'll correct Mr. Post. I don't like the court to agree with you if we haven't agreed on that. I'll take you on the records. I've even highlighted. You only talked about the communication between accused number 3 and number 5 on the 26th of October 2014.
My lord, according to my records, there was only one call on the 26th of October. All the other calls were previous, after. That's when I started in evidence, or when I started with this statement, there's all the calls that was made. It's on my statement, my lord.
I just misplaced my where I actually wrote those. You even specify about times of their communication. There were 3.
That was for accused 2 when I was crossed by, or I was in chief with Advocate Baloy. That was for accused for, I think it was 1739. There was 3 calls made after he was arrested. That's the 3 calls that we're talking about. I never said that this
okay
on this page.
No, it's fine. I'll just stand it down. I'll come back to it. But the purpose for asking this question is not primarily what I'm asking you. Let's proceed. My question is, when you were given this document, Exhibit GG, to analyze,
yes,
you had to go through all of it.
That's correct, Mother.
Now, during evidence in chief, sorry, let me say this. What made you? I know you were led by my colleague Mr. Baloyi, but your evidence related mainly to the communication between accused number 3 and number 5, correct?
No, my lord. My evidence, if I can read my statement, I was asked by the investigation officer, Brigadier Ganinga, to see if there's any communication. Let me just get my exhibit DD5C, paragraph 6. The intention and scope of this analysis and the request from the investigation officer was to determine the following. If there were any communication between 27768169 and other accused in this matter before this court. And the only numbers I picked up was that of accused number 5. No other numbers were communicating with that number during that period of the section 205. Only accused number 5.
Mina nginikwe umsebenzi ubrigadier Kennedy ukuthi ngihlaziye ukuthi kukhona yini ukukhuluma phakathi kuka 0727661869 nabanye abasola abakhona la enkantolo. Yaphendula ukuthi cha engibonile umsola wesihlanu.
My question is that the number 072 766 8169, it appeared from the first page of the data that we're analyzing. Correct?
That's correct, my lord.
But number 072 766 8169. If you look here,
to know the reasons, if not a reason, why the records of the number 072 766 8169 were not placed on record in your examination in chief, starting from page 10, proceeding to page 13. Do you know?
Don't understand, sir.
I don't think that's something that this witness can answer. In any case, we did explain that we received the data at a rather late stage, my lord.
I disagree with the stage. I'm going to demonstrate in my submission that the state deliberately omit a particular evidence. For example, my lord, when we're dealing with the AVL evidence of debris, the state omitted deliberately the incident that happened at Engine Garage. This evidence that was tackled yesterday, beginning from page 10, 11, 12, and 13, the state realized that it was an own goal in their case. May I proceed, my lord?
As a court, please, I don't know what the basis of my colleague's submission is. The fact of the matter is he's representing accused number 1, and he's straddling the lines by cross-examining on behalf of the other accused. If he can maybe just stick to his lane, that would assist.
So the concern of the defense, we have agreed with Mr. Mnisi the reasons why I have to deal with this evidence. Secondly, these 5 accused are charged with common purpose to commit an offense. Anything that is said, because my colleague forgets that there are only 2 confessions here. Confession for accused number 1 and for accused number 2. Anything that is in that confession that touches accused number 3, 4, and 5, I have a fiduciary duty to cross-examine this witness based on that doctrine of common purpose.
No, let's just understand that. You remember you talked about section 319, is it?
219.
Sorry, 219, to
Yes.
say the evidence which is adduced by the confession through either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
It's not applicable to 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
Right, now you are saying you are cross-examining because of the common purpose doctrine.
Yes. That's what it's one of the charges.
Right, fine. And if what you are cross-examining on impinges in the confession, which attaches or which relates to the other accused who are not involved in that confession, you are saying I should allow you to cross-examine thereof. You are right, but the point is, if you do that, then it's a reflection on your client. Are you
I'm aware of that.
Are you aware of that?
I'm aware, madam.
Fine.
May I just clarify this, madam, before I proceed?
Yeah, fine.
This witness relates to the communication between these 5 accused.
Yes, yes.
Where does that emanate from? It emanates from the contents of the confession. And in relation to the contents of the communication, I wish to remind the court that there's evidence that Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3. That's the purpose of getting into number 3 for the confession that has been made by accused 1 and 2. That's the reason it deals with communication. So I want to prove to this witness that there was no communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3 in anticipating in the commission of the said offenses, my lord. That's the relevance of it deals with communication.
All right.
Can't comment on that, my lord.
Yeah.
But on what is related to communication, I want you to show the court, because I've got the records here. Can you please take this number for me? Can you please take these 2 numbers for me? 082 082
Yes.
7044
Yes.
358.
Yes.
The second number 072
Yes.
938
Yes.
2498.
Yes.
Those are numbers for Kelly Khumalo. Those 2 numbers are for Kelly Khumalo. And I have an affidavit made by Kelly Khumalo to say those were the numbers that she was using on the day Senzo was killed. I'm just putting a background. So now, to draw your attention or to employ your skill as a data analyst, I'm putting to you that there was no communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. Looking at those numbers and on the event of the 26th of October, you'll find no communication between accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. Unless you want me to give you an opportunity to go through that. Specifically on the 26th, because that was the day in which the state alleges that, according to the confession, Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3.
So there's the number 0827044358 072 9382498. I numbers ga Kelly Khumalo futhi ke ukhona lapha ephathisa khona yaBet David ukuthi lezi I number esenzisa ngalilanga Senzo Khumalo uSenzo Meyiwa bulawa ngalo. Manje ukuthi ke akukho nawo la khombisa khona ukuthi Kelly Khumalo nomsolo wes3 bakhuluma ngomhla ka26 njengoba ke umshushisi esho. Kuthiwa uthini ngalokho?
A lot is 337 pages. It's not just a press of the button. So
We can suspend it, we can stand it down. You'll have an opportunity to go through those numbers, if the court so pleases. Can we proceed?
yes,
Or
we can
you-
proceed.
My lord, can I stand down that question for the witness to go through the 205s to check
Find
these
out
2
if there's
numbers?
communication between Kelly Khumalo and number 3.
Number 3, yes, my lord.
Is that okay? Colonel
Let me just-
House?
That's correct, my lord. Let me just check. I go quickly with.
But as I recall the evidence, Kelly Khumalo had about what, 5 numbers or 6 numbers?
Sorry, my lord, to ask, I have no
No, I mean,
recollection.
that's the evidence. Sorry, Mr. Maloi, you recall how many numbers did Ms. Kelly Khumalo have?
Yes, indeed, that is stated in the affidavit of Stein.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the number of the cell phones that she had.
Yeah, she had about 5 or 6.
Yes.
And further, my lord, it has been stated in that affidavit of Brigadier Kininda, A227, that Kelly Khumalo had 4 cell phone numbers. But now, what is of importance the logic and the reasons to have the section 205. May I just establish from the witness? Say, when you were approached by Brigadier Gininda, you said somewhere in September last year, 7 months ago, correct?
Brigadier Gininda okuthinda September kulo nyaka odlula athi yebo.
When he asked you to do the analysis on the basis that Mr. Steyn is on retirement, did he tell you that there were section 205s that were taken from the people that were in the house where Senzo was killed? Did he tell you?
No, my lord, when I started with this case, I didn't do the cell phone and the 205. I was doing the downloading of the 2 cell phones of accused 2 and accused 5. Later, during the course of the trial, it was requested for the section 205s to be produced, that we have given to the council, and then I started with the section 205s on the accused. That's why that statement came in later. It was the additional statement, DD52 and DD53. So my original was just for the 2 cell phones that was downloaded to do analysis on that, not on the section 205. So it came later. So I don't know anything about any section 205, other people that was in the house. I have no record about that.
Ekuqaleni kwalo msebenzi lona nganginikwe inombolo ezimbili kaMsolo wesihlanu uMhlolo wesibili kuphela ukuthi nje ngikhiphe ulwazi olukhona la ngaphakathi kula mafoni. Manje ke uthi ke emva kwaloko ke ilapho ke ngacela khona ukuthi ngisenze no section 205. Usho ukuthi lama ama section 205 anginalwazi ngawo.
So, I've just checked the exhibits relating to Colonel Steyn, exhibit 01.
01.
Yes, it shows that Ms. Kelly Khumalo had 8 cell phones.
8 cell phones,
yes.
Yeah, that's the point. Ms. Kelly Khumalo had 8 cell phones. Fine.
8 cell phones.
Yeah, so when you ask this witness about the communication regarding Kelly Khumalo, it must correlate with 8 cell phones.
I differ with the Lordship.
According to the state,
I differ, my Lord,
had.
I differ with the court.
With the court?
Yes, I differ with what the court is saying, that I must correlate with 8 cell phones.
No, but look, it's common sense. If I have 8 cell phones.
My Lord, section 205 does not require common sense.
What does it require?
It requires scrutiny on what was registered on the as a database.
Fine,
but now what may I submit?
Yeah,
by saying this?
Yeah.
We'll keep on speculating about the number of cell phones.
It is a speculation. Wait, Mr. Mngomezulu. Mr. Baloyi, is it speculation that Kelly Khumalo had 6 or whatever cell phones?
Well, that's according to the evidence and the affidavit of Steyn. I've just quoted.
How many cell phones? Just let's recite those 8 cell phones numbers, if there are. Oh, my daughter.
Well, on page 3 of Colonel Steyn's affidavit, exhibit 01,
yeah,
she stated the following. She says, the following extraction out of XDS to trace the following numbers of Kelly Khumalo. Then she mentions them.
And he mentions how many numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So that's not speculation, Mr.
That's the reason. My Lord, may I just put it this way?
Yeah,
maybe
fine.
the court will understand me.
Okay.
I wanted to show the witness a document. May I hand over this document to Mr. Stein? I'll show you. I'm not That's the letter that was written by Captain Teto to the TSU for the 205s.
Yes.
And with that letter, she mentioned the numbers that are listed there for the people that were in the house.
Yes.
From that letter, if needs be, I'll make copies for the court and for everyone. In that letter, the numbers that I gave you, the two numbers that I gave you for Kelly Khumalo, they also appear in that letter. Do you agree?
Captain Teto here with TSU ngama 205 uyabika ke lapho ukuthi kwakune ziphi numbers ezisetshenziswa abantu abalibe lapha endlini. Yavuma yini ukuthi lezi number ikunika zona sikhona lapha?
That's correct. The two numbers, that's correct.
And according to that letter, there were only two cell phones that Captain Teto mentioned of the cell phones that were taken from people that were in the house. He mentioned Tumelo, Madlala, Longwe Twala, Mthokozisi, Twala, Madlala, Zandi Khumalo, and I think it's mother of Kelly Khumalo as well.
There's 8 numbers, 9 numbers.
Nine numbers.
That's correct.
Including Senzo.
Including Senzo, that's correct.
I think the number is ezathathwa amaphoyisa ngaleso sikhathi kuyeka Tumelo Madlala, Egalongwe, Twala, Egazandi Khumalo, Mama Zandi Khumalo, Zazisheka Ludunya numbers athathola.
Yes, if you peruse that the second page or the third page, I would say the attachment to those are the 205s, the extracts of the 205 for Kelly Khumalo, for both numbers, correct?
It's one page, my lord. I can't do anything on a one-page extraction.
No, I'm saying it's an extract. I've got the full 205.
I understand, but I don't have the 205 with me, my lord, so I can see, I can't do analysis on extraction or even if I have the document, yes, maybe I can see what I can do,
no, but
not on the extraction of 2 pages. It's
I wanted
to document.
We only have one page.
One page of one number and one page of the other number, my lord.
Okay.
The purpose was not to analyze those documents, was to confirm the contents of what was in that covering letter for Captain Teto. That was the purpose, not to analyze. May I have the document back? The reason why I'm asking this question, Brigadier Kininda, the investigating officer, did not tell you that there was a 205 done on the in 2014 regarding people that were in the house. The relevance of this is based on the communication between accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. Now, I'm going back to my question. You analyzed, you saw that there is the numbers 072, 07668169 from the beginning of the first page.
Athi uhlazile ubona ukuthi ikhona le number 0727668169 kusukela ekhasini lokuqala.
If you were not taken on cross-examination yesterday, this information would not have been before this honorable court. Do you agree?
Imbuzo izolo kusho ukuthi le konke lokhu bekuzobe kungekho phambi kwenkantolo.
Which information is Mr. Mngomezulu referring to?
My lord, my colleague is not listening to me. He's not listening, but with due respect for the decorum of this court, I'll repeat. I referred you to Exhibit GG, where I asked you whether did you go through that Section 205 document data from page 1 up to the last page. You said yes.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi masibuyela lapha kweexhibit GG bambuza ukuthi ufunde wonke yini amakhasi lapha kusukela kweqala izofika igcina ngathi yebo.
And I asked you about, or I cross-examined you yesterday from page 10, 11, 12, and 13 about the records of cell phone 0727668169.
That's correct.
Athi izolo ngikubuze kusukela ekhasini leshumi kuyofika ekhasini leshumi nantathu mayelana ke nayo le phone u0727668169.
My question is simple. If I did not ask you about the transactions that are in those pages, this court might have not have knowledge of those transactions without being placed on records by you.
So, please, my lord, we have presented that evidence. It's on record. How can now Mr. Mngomezulu says if he didn't ask, we are aware of those calls, and that's why we put them before court. And it cannot be us of this witness that if he did not cross-examine on that, the information would not have surfaced, but it's before court, and we place it before court.
My lord, that's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true. Mr. Valo, you must be honest to this court. That's not true. I said, let's stand down that question, the first question I asked you, where you only dealt with 3 transactions on the 26th. That's what I asked you. I'll come back to that question after. I need to consult my notes. I misplaced my notes.
My lord, sorry, there was 3 transactions. 2610, 14, 13, 49, 49. 2610, 2014, 15, 19, 32. And 2610, 18, 31. To accused 5, number 27723995787.
Manje kukhona ke kathathu lapho kube khona ukuxhumana phakathi kwale number 072766 8169 nenumber ke kamsolo wesihlanu 0723995787 ngomhla 26 zonke kusukela ngesikhathi ka 1349 49 1359 13 15 19 32 no 18 31 16.
You see, Mr. Host, I listen and I write notes.
100%, my lord. I was just looking at the other dates, 100%. I understand, my lord.
Now, I just want us to get into the purpose of your evidence in this court as a data analyst. The main, or let me not put it as the main object or objective of your testimony in general terms as a data analyst. But what does it seek to achieve when you present such evidence in court as an expert?
My Lord, I was asked to see if there was communication between accused 3 and other suspects, and that's what I did, to see if there was communication. That's all. That was my scope of my analysis. It's not something I made up, it was requested by me by the investigation.
Yes. So you've done as you were requested, and you gave evidence, and surely in your evidence you stated that there was a communication between accused number 3 and number 5.
That's correct.
And one of amongst my colleagues, either Advocate Mngomezulu or Advocate Mshololo, put it to you that accused number 3 and number 5 knew each other before the incident of the 24th of
100%, my Lord.
So is it your evidence today that the cell number of accused number 1, the 079-379-0137, cannot be linked with that own number, so with that number 072-766-8169?
For the period 23 October 2014 to 25 January 2015, that's the section 205 I have in front of me. For the other periods, I can't say, my Lord.
No 076-2-766-8169 bengekho ukuxhumana sethi-ke kusukela ngo-October 2014 kuya ku-January 2015 lokho ebengingayiphawula ngako, kodwa-ke kwezinye iy'khathi anginama-205 angeke ngikwazi ukuphawula ngalokho.
But I'll just put it as a fact to be proven that there was no accused number 1 and number 3 did not know each other on the 26th of October 2014, on the day Senzo was killed.
Ngibeka ukuthi umsolo oqala nomsolo wesithathu babengazani ngaphambili kwamhla 26 October ngelanga uSenzo Meyiwa wabulala ngalo.
Neither there was such a communication between accused number 1 and accused number 3 on that day.
But futhi akukho ukuxhumana phakathi kamsolo oqala nomsolo wesithathu ngalelo langa.
Noted, my Lord. Can't comment on it.
Akukho engakuphawula ngalokho.
Now, if this purpose of giving this evidence is demonstrated by you from the request of the lead investigator, Mr. Brigadier Gininda, I'm putting it to you now as a matter of a proven fact that accused number 2, being the owner and the possessor, lawful possessor of the cell phone 072-766-8169, was not in Vosloorus on the day Senzo was killed.
I can't comment on it, my Lord. I haven't got the section 205 for that number, so I can't comment on that statement, my Lord.
Umsolo wesibili umnini wale phone lo 0727668169 wayengekho frustrate ngelanga uSenzo Meyiwa abulala ngalo kushuthi ke wathi anginayo section 205 ya le phone futhi ngeke ngikwazi ukuphawula ngalo.
I was meaning accused number 1 and number 3. I beg your pardon.
Bengikhuluma ngomsala uhlolo oqala nosithathu. Xoleni.
I think we already dealt with that. Cell phone was in that area. I can't comment if the person was there, as was stated yesterday. And accused one, I haven't got his section 205 for the period for that in 2014, my lord.
But I engakusho nje ukuthi ifoni yakhombisa ukuthi yayilapho ukuthi kwakuyena oyephethe angeke ngikwazi ukuphawula ngaloko. Section 205 ikamsolo oqala yona anginayo angikwazi ukuphawula.
Sorry. May I approach my colleague? From the court.
As it is the court. I got a bit lost. There was something that I was quickly checking on my notes here. On the last session that my colleague Mr. Mngomezulu put to the witness when he said that he put it as a matter of fact.
Please, says what?
When I'm trying to recall, as I'm saying, there's something that was distracting me on the notes here. But then I heard him saying that he put it as a matter of fact that on the day of the incident, accused number 3 was never at forced arrest.
Yeah.
In terms of the record, in terms of the cell phone data, as it is the court, my lord, may I just request a very moment to have a word with my colleague.
Yeah, okay, you want to consult with Mr. Mngomezulu concerning the fact whether number 3 was actually at forced arrest or not.
I will bring that information, and I think for now it's privileged, it's classified information.
What do you mean it's here? That's why I know it.
Excuse me, madam.
That's why I know it.
No, I say for now, what me and Mr. Mngomezulu are going to discuss is privilege.
Oh, fine, yeah, fine.
Yes.
So you want to ask for then?
Just for 5 minutes, madam, yes.
Okay, then 5 minutes. Yes.
Thank you, Madam.
I think the issue has been clarified. Mr. Mngomezulu will explain it to the court. Thank you.
Let me just put it very clearly and unambiguously. Mr. Host, what I wanted to clarify, according to this data, when the allegation that Senzo was killed between 7:30 and 8:30, the time, I'm referring to the time, accused number 3 was not in forced lorries. That's what I wanted to clarify.
Ngesikhathi usenzo ekuthiwa wabulawa ngaso ngo-7:30 uyofika ngo-8:30 umsolo wesithathu wayengekho e-false lorries.
Let's move on to the evidence, but may I find out from you, because I wanted to tell you that there are no records of communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. But insofar as the data for accused number 3, I have established, or I just want to check it from you, whether will it be necessary to go through the 205s for Kelly Khumalo. For that period, in confirmation of the evidence of building up from Colonel Steyn.
If I've got all 8 numbers, yes, my lord, but not only on 2 numbers. I need to have all 8 numbers that was mentioned, the section 205.
So now we are inviting ourselves to speculate, to say if this device was not in forced lorries. Now we are speculating to say maybe it was with somebody else.
Don't accuse me of speculation. I'm asking this witness. And this witness says all he can confirm is that the number of the device was at a certain location, but he can't vouch to the fact that the device which belongs to Rachama Khwatling was at that location. Am I quoting correctly, sir?
Let me clarify this by asking this question, by telling this by putting this to Mr. Steyn, Mr. Host. I had an opportunity to consult with the rest of the accused. It is confirmed that accused number 3 was in possession of this device on the 26th of October 2014.
Where?
On the day of... My lord, may I just...
No.
I don't want to leave the gaps.
No, Mr. Mngomezulu, please.
I started, my lord,
The court must be placed in a position to understand. Yes. Because this witness, wait. This witness doesn't talk about locality of a person. This witness talks about the locality of a device. Mr. Host, Colonel Host, is that correct?
That's correct, Madam.
That's it. So
but we are talking about the accused number 3.
This court is a Mickey Mouse court.
No, my lord, no. The court must not dig its own way of finding the person. No, I'm saying there's evidence here. GG.
Yeah.
It talks about accused number 3. The instruction that was, the request that was made to Mr. Host was in relation to 5 accused. Accused number 3 is one of them. And my instruction when I cross-examined Mr. Host yesterday, I started at 7 in the morning. Yes, in page 10, until the 30th of October. There's no other accused person that I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking about
but listen, I mean, I was in this court. This witness never confirmed the presence of accused number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He confirms the presence of a number. Am I correct?
My Lord, this is a section 205 is on the number.
Please,
of the, IMA of the number where the number was in that area.
The number, not the person.
The device, my Lord.
May I request the court?
That's not me saying that, it's him saying that.
May I request the court not to be impatient? May I request the court to be patient and listen to...
I'm very patient.
No, my Lord, I disagree with you. I don't want to fight and dialogue with you.
Okay.
My concern is that just now, to correct that accused number 3, I'm putting to this witness now that from 8 o'clock, I'm specific now, from 8 minutes past 8, according to these records, he was in possession of the cell phone.
Okay, fine.
Until the 30th. I'm being specific.
Yes.
I don't talk about other days prior. Now, I'm putting to you, Mr. Host, accused number 3, I put it as a fact now. You can disagree with me. I put it as a fact that on the 8th, on the 26th of October 2014, at 8 minutes past 8, as with reference to page 10 of Exhibit GG, he was in possession of that device. I put it as a fact now.
Can't comment on it, my Lord.
Okay.
But you also start to 808 ngomhla 30. Why Pete lo makhalekhukhwini athi cha angikwazi ukuletha leso siqiniseko.
Let's now get into your evidence, which I said is irrelevant in this court. 2018. Before I conclude my examination, I'm going to argue at a later stage that evidence that you presented in this court from 2018 to 2021 is irrelevant in this court, in the sense that there's no communication that you have placed on record either through SMS or WhatsApp that constitute or has the elements of a particular offense. Meaning, there are no SMSs, there's no communication that you can prove to this court that these accused persons knew each other for wrong purposes, especially in relation to the death of Senzo Meyiwa.
Ukuthi mhlambe kwaba nama SMS noma WhatsApp ekhombisa ukuthi uxhumana kwanabasolwa mayelana nokwenza ke ukuholela ekubulaweni kaSenzo Meyiwa.
Meaning, you cannot prove mens rea or mean guilty mind in this communication between these accused persons.
Ngeke kwazi ukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi laba ke abasolwa babehlosile.
I don't know what it means, sir.
You can't, I'm putting to you, you can't even prove the actus reus, the positive act in the communication of these 5 accused persons in terms of these records.
My Lord, I don't have a law degree. I don't know what
Actus reus is.
Positive act.
He's put statements to me.
No, this is...
I'm new in the court.
Let me just give you an example, Mr. Host. Just an example. An example would be, in the communication, accused number 1 said, yes, this is what I've done, through a message or SMS. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Let's move forward. You remember when you talk about paragraph 15.2.2 in your exhibit DD5.
That's correct, my lord.
You talk about a cell phone that was taken from accused number 1 during his arrest under case number 217-03-2019. Remember that? Paragraph 15.2.2.
Paragraph 15.2.2 exhibition DD5. Ukhulume nge-cell phone eyathathwa umsolo wokuqala ngesikhathi eboshwa.
Yes, my lord.
But yebo.
Do you agree that you spoke about accused number 2, accused number 1 being arrested under case number 217-03-2019?
Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi wathi lapho ke umsolo waboshwa ngaphansi kwecala kuthiwa 217-03-2019.
Tembisa cash.
Sorry?
Tembisa cash.
That's correct, yes.
Wathi icala sethembisa, yebo.
Remember,
That's correct.
in terms
Yebo
of,
kunjalo.
in terms of that affidavit, you only mention one affidavit. Sorry, you only mention one cell phone.
Wathi lapho ukhulume nge-cell phone eyodwa.
That's what I received from the investigation officer. That's
In
correct.
terms of that affidavit, an affidavit was made by you, not by somebody else. You were alone when you made that affidavit.
Wathi wedwa umabhala leyo affidavit.
According to the database, that was the number, only that number that was found. That's correct.
Wathi ngaloko okukhona lapho ku-database iyona ke number iyodwa yatholakala.
So where did you get the information that a cell phone was recovered from accused number 1?
Uthatha phi ukuthi khona
Mthembisi.
umakhalekhukhwini watholakala
Where did you get
kumsolo wokuqala.
From the database that was given by Colonel Stein to say that this number was received, was found in possession of accused number 1.
Hayi lo ngithole ngukhonesteli ukuthi le number yatholakala umsolo wokuqala.
And Colonel Stein testified before you were asked by Mr. Gininda to come and testify here.
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi ukhonesteli weza wazoletha ubufakazi ngaphambi kaGininda.
So now, if this cell phone, according to the database, was taken from accused number 1, accused number 1 sorry, after your evidence about that paragraph 15.2.2, the next witness was Sergeant Mngomezulu, who gave evidence to this court that for the first time in giving that evidence, she said 2 cell phones were recovered from accused number 2 on the 30th of May 2020.
I can't comment on that, my lord. I wasn't here. I didn't hear the testimony.
Wathi uSelwa Mkhulu waletha ubufakazi ukuthi amaselofoni amabili athola umsolo wesibili ngomhla ka-30 kuMeyi 2020 wathi cha ngikwazi ukuphawula lutho ngalowo ngoba ngangingekho.
You have to comment on that one, I'm telling you now.
My lord, what must I comment? I wasn't in court to hear what she said. So what must I comment?
Ngikwazi ukuphawula ngoba ngangingekho enkantolo.
Let's go to your let's go to your exhibit D D5B, second page. D5B. May I approach? Number 1, sorry, not number 2. So, number 1. I'm representing accused number 1. Okay, I'm referring to accused number 1, sir. 15.2.2 refers to accused number 1 in that Tembisa case 217-03-2019. I'm referring to that. Now I'm referring you to your paragraph, to your affidavit, DD5B, You remember how many cell phones you mentioned that they belong to accused number 1?
Hayi kama cell phone ukubona lapha ku exhibit 5B okuthiwa ke akamsolo oqala.
In terms of that,
2 numbers.
Athi kubonakala inamba ezimbili.
where did you get the second number? The second number, is it the 1060-7746-749?
From the investigation officer, my lord.
Zona izinamba ngathola kumseshi.
When?
When I've done the section 205.
Emva uthi ngenze section 205.
When?
Uthi nini?
My lord. When I was asked to do the section 205, when I received the database, all the numbers was given to me. I've got a list of numbers that I can show that was given to me by the investigation officer and Colonel Stein in September month.
That's correct. I wanted to know when.
September
Which
month.
day?
That's correct.
Which day?
Ngathola ngoSeptember.
When I was asked, let me just check my statement. I received a request from Colonel Stein on 230906.
Athi ngayithola ke isicelo kusiphuma ku Kenstein ngomhla
Colonel Brigadier Kanenda to assist Colonel Stein.
ubrigadier Keninda wangicela ukuthi ngisize Kenstein.
Then that affidavit DD5, which date did you make it?
Kwenza nini ke affidavit ka DD5?
What was the day it was commissioned?
Although some of the papers I just lose, I just need to get it.
Yeah.
DD5B.
Yes.
DD5 or DD5B?
DD5, the first one.
(2909-2023).
Mhla 29/09/2023.
So you made that affidavit after you were given the data,
That's correct, my lord.
Okay, i-affidavit le ngayenza emva sengithole idatha.
but you confirm that in your DD5 affidavit, there's no mention of other cell numbers for accused number 1.
Ndiyaqiniseka ukuthi kule ku-DD5 akukhombisi ezinye izinamba ezihambelana nomsolo oqala.
Where did I confirm that?
No. Unless I referred you to paragraph 15.2.2. I was specific. I'm talking about paragraph 15.2.2. That's where you talked about the cell number of accused number 1.
That's correct. I
Where-
never said there was any other numbers. I said this number was found on the database. I never said there's no other numbers on the database of the accused. I never said he had another number, or I don't know if he has another number. This number was given to me by the investigation team.
Mr. Stein, Mr.
That's
Coase,
correct, my lord.
let me just rephrase it. Maybe you didn't understand me.
Yes.
May I rephrase it?
Yes.
I'm saying, when you testified for the first time about annexure DD5, you refer this court to paragraph 15.2.2, correct?
That's correct.
Paragraph 15.2.2
In that affidavit, you have not mentioned any other number other than the number 079-379-0137. That's the only number you spoke of, you wrote about it in that affidavit.
But the affidavit, I can number 079-379-0137. I can number.
My question, simple. With reference to DD5B, second.
Then that's the communication to that number. I couldn't say that he communicated with his own number because that was not my scope of analysis. So I never put it to this court that I don't know about another number of the accused.
Zangichaza ukuthi ayikho inamba engiyaziyo kaMsolo engikanje ukuthi angeke akwazi ukuthi akhulume nenamba yakhe lapha ngoba benganikiwe lo msebenzi ukuthi ngichaze ukuthi ukhulumile yini nenamba yakhe.
But my concern is very simple. I don't want you to saw it, Mr. House. My concern is that that number reflected in the second page of DD5B is not in your DD5, the second number. Is that what I want to confirm?
No, my lord. This picture, DD5, is the communication of 2779790137. So that's the one number. That's the one the number that he said that he doesn't. I didn't. Now this is the communication with the other accused.
Let me make it simple for you.
But you can't. It won't be on here because he didn't phone his own number. That's why it's not on here. So I haven't got record on my database for the communication to the other number. So that's why I don't have the number on this picture, my lord.
But I'm going to 079 379-0137. Ibi kumana kanjani nalabanye abasolo angeke kube khona la esithombeni ukukhombisa ukuthi wayekhuluma yini nale yina ngoba ngeke akwazi abengathi ke ukuthi bheke ukuthi wayekhuluma nenamba yakhe yini.
Mr. Host, I'm concerned about the wording of paragraph 15.2.2.
Yes.
You talked about it from the 205. This is the number that was found when accused number 1 was arrested in Tembisa.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
So now, my question is, was it the only number on that database that you were giving before you made that affidavit?
I never looked for another number because I was looking for the communication with this number with the other accused, my lord. I don't know how to explain it. If I won't phone my other number.
I know.
So it won't be on this because this is the communication from 0137 to the other accused. So I didn't put it on here because there was no communication with that number. I never said there was another number or I don't know about another number.
Ngicela ukuthi ayikho enye number noma khona enye number engichazayo lana ukuthi lesithombe ukhombisa ukuthi inumber la 0137 yayikhuluma yini nabanye abasolo ngoba iyona into engangicela ukuthi ngiyiveze.
My lord, can we adjourn for tea?
No, continue with that.
No, that's what was indicated to me. But I can still proceed.
Yeah,
I'm
proceed.
not running out of questions.
Proceed.
Yes. This number 060.
My lord, can I go back to the top one? To the top. So it was on a database, but it was not Stemba Sabia Muzi 27607747679. I did testify about that because that's a communication from 1239 with that number. I worked out the communication with the other numbers, my lord. So why it's not on paragraph 15.2.2 because 0137 didn't communicate with that number. But if you're looking at paragraph 15.2.1, accused 5 27715911239 did communicate with that number. That was it's put to me now.
071595123 now wakhuluma naleyo number ikhona iyo into ezokuthi ikhombise la.
So it is on the database, my lord.
Ikhona la ngaphakathi ku database.
Why was it not mentioned in DD5? And especially there's another number that I'm coming.
It is mentioned in paragraph 9.2.1.
Just you like paragraph 9.2.1.
That is for accused number 5.
Yes, because he communicated with that number, but it's not. He didn't communicate with himself. That's why it's not on paragraph 15.2.2.
But yebo ya ngoba yakhuluma nabanye abantu ikhulunywe ngako kodwa ke ayizange ikhulunywe ukuthi yazifonela yena.
Other than that data that was given to you.
Yes, my lord.
How do you prove that this number belongs to accused number 1?
Through the investigation team, they must come testify. That was given to me by the investigation team, my lord.
But ngaphandle ke let 251 was kanjalo lethi siqiso sokuthi phone number yakho hayi abaseshi nomsebenzi ukuthi bazoletha leso siqiniseko balethelana bakube bona abazosikhulumela.
Did they give you the record document under this number?
My lord, I was told this is the number of accused 5.
The question is, did they give you the record document? That's the question.
No, my lord, I didn't. I was told that that was the number of.
But bakunika any record document that cha mina ngatshela ukuthi inumber yakhe le.
Let's get into 083 7106 You said it belonged to accused number 1.
083?
083 710 6297.
Where did that? Accused 1, 083?
710 6297.
6297. Where did I say?
Sorry?
629. Just trying to.
Is it the first time to talk about this number?
No, I'm just trying to see what's the number. Check what number you're talking about. Oh wait, 2?
083 710 6279 97. Sorry. 083 710 6297.
62. That's it, yes.
Sorry?
Okay, yeah.
Do you see it?
Yes.
Does it belong to accused number 1?
That's according to my, that was given to me by the investigation team, madam.
Athekele 083710627 yakhombisa ukuthi ekamsolo oqala ukuthi hayi ilento engitshelwe abaseshi.
So So you don't have record documents for this one?
No, my lord.
But on I
I have a worry of bringing these two numbers after Sergeant Mkhoda has testified. According to your initial testimony, you talked about one cell phone that was recovered from accused number one.
No, I never said one phone, my lord.
You mentioned, sorry, in that affidavit you mentioned one cell phone.
No.
Where is it?
15.2. Do you understand what?
Sorry, Mr. Lieutenant, just read 15.2.
I'll start with 15.2.1.
Yeah, just
where,
read it.
where that number is mentioned. 15.2, my lord, is the communication of. Let me open it again for you, my lord. And it just said that number, they communicate, these numbers communicate with that number. Okay. That second number of what you won't be on this because he didn't communicate with his own number. That's why it's not on here. I never said there wasn't another number. But if you go back to 15.2.1, paragraph 15.2.1, there is the number put on record. So there is the number.
The court asked you to read that
Yes.
paragraph 15.2.1
Yes.
and 15.2.2. The reason why I'm asking this question, Mr. Host, is that do you remember when you laid evidence about that number? Later it transpired that that number belonged to yeah. That number, they said it belongs to Longisani Ndwandwe, who will come and testify at a later stage.
The AD must come testify, my lord. That's the data I've got, the natural information, and the data I have, and I gave evidence on what I have.
I take data and ufaze umlethile phezu kwale data enginayo.
And according to my instruction, Longisani Ndwandwe is the younger brother to accused number one. He's a he's a cousin to accused number one. Longisani Ndwandwe.
Longisani Ndwandwe ngosina kulenga tolo ukuthi umzala kaMsolo uqala.
Thank you, madam. Let me just rephrase it. Correction. Longisani Ndwandwe is the younger brother of accused number one.
Longisani Ndwandwe umfana omncane kaMsolo uqala.
And he will call him also to confirm that that number belonged to Longisani Ndwandwe.
I can't comment to that, my lord. I don't have the Home Affairs data before me to confirm if Longisani is indeed the brother of accused number one.
I
know that you are not working for Home Affairs. The question, the relevance of this is that you made an analysis based on wrong information.
When I received the information, there was no mention that that was the brother of accused number one.
Now I'm correcting you.
So I didn't do the wrong analysis. I've done on what I received, and that's what I gave him for court.
I'm saying to you now that that number has been contested. You can't put it as a fact that it belongs to accused number 5.
And I can't put it to the fact that it belongs to the brother.
According to the data. According to the data that you are giving.
That's correct.
We will correct that information emanating from the data.
That's
the correct information is that that number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe, and he is related to accused number 1.
Can't comment on that, my lord.
Angikwazi ukuphawula ukuthi leyo number leyo kaMlungisani Ndwandwe umfowabo solo ukuqala.
Can we attend 14?
You still want to go on, please. You don't have to adjourn for tea.
We need to take a comfort break, my lord.
I see, okay, 15 minutes then.
Kuyaqhubeka ukuqulwa kwecala likaSenzo Meyiwa eNkantolo ePhakeme yasePretoria.